Bandidos, the unwavering talent is for SMGs only, and I'm going to show you how to make it gangsta. Hit the like if unique and effective builds are for you, and comment gangsta to support the channel.
Ready? Okay. Shh.
Stick that in your pipe and smoke it.
Let's get down to the nitty-gritty.
I have two unwavering builds for you today with only minor differences between them, and there is a perfect unwavering out there. So swapping to this weapon grants 400% weapon handling for 5 seconds. Kills refresh the buff, and so there's no cooldown. Swapping away disables this from all weapons for 5 seconds. So this is actually a very good SMG, and I used to regularly run it as my backup weapon by default. So don't sleep on this one, but we decided not to go for perfect unwavering. Instead, we decided to run it on the Vector because we found that the added RPMs made a difference. On this setup, the Vector is hitting at about 80,000 total damage. We got almost 1,400 RPMs with 45 rounds in the mag. I got crit chance mods everywhere with the extended mag, and of course the skin, the gems. So we got SMG damage, max crit chance, and damage to targets out of cover with the 1.7 second reload. Not bad. And here's the non-perfect one. So swapping to this weapon grants 300% weapon handling for 5 seconds. Skills refresh the buff. Swapping away disables this from all weapons for 5 seconds. So the difference is 100% weapon handling, but the deal is that we're usually playing within like 15 to even up to 30 meters with this SMG thanks to the handling, but for the most part pretty close and personal. So the difference between 300 and 400% weapon handling isn't really noticed. And so for the most part, the biggest advantage is that reload. It basically eliminates reloads, but also allows you to reach for targets that are deeper out and landing shots more on target as you're approaching them. What I'm trying to tell you is that unwavering is all about landing as many shots as possible in the shortest amount of time, which sounds perfect for SMGs, right? Right. With an unwavering build, there's going to be frequent weapon swapping. So you want a secondary weapon that really makes sense for the gameplay style that you're going to be doing. And so for this one, we decided on the rock and roll. So I got crit chance mods, damage to targets out of cover, and perfectly extra. If you don't have this rock and roll, then just use any ACS shotgun and maybe put Optimist on it for damage. But the reason why we decided to go for the shotgun is because we decided to run a 4-piece striker and use the striker chest piece. And that's actually a synergy, believe it or not. For one, we got mega fast RPM, so it's really easy to maintain stacks. And because we're weapon swapping a lot, because every time Unwavering deactivates, we switch the weapon for at least 5 seconds, that allows us to gain, because when Unwavering is deactivated, we switch to our shotgun for at least 5 seconds. And this shotgun is really good at gaining stacks on both Striker and Heartbreaker. So the chest piece just really made sense for this build, and the weapons go with it very nicely. Okay, so Striker gives us weapon handling and more rate of fire. Striker's Gamble gives us some excellent multiplicative damage. And because we're running the chest, we have 200 stacks, which means we're gonna have a very strong build, which has allowed me to run 1.5 million armor. More on that in a second, but I got crit damage, crit chance, and an armor core here. The mask is a red core with crits. The gloves, a red core with crit damage. And for my knees, I have armor and more crit damage. If you're looking to be part of a strong, positive community, then I have you covered. Join Tux's Discord. We're not elitists, and we're so much more than just clans and raids. Tux's Discord continues to grow as the central hub for the player base that loves this game and wants to see it thrive. And if you love builds, this is the spot. Also, join Tux's Players Club to support the channel, the cause, while getting access to member perks and extra content like gaming music playlists. Click the join button below. Now, I decided to go with the Picaro's holster, but this extra piece is really up to you. You can do anything. You can go Cheska, you can go Grupo, you can go Fox's Contractors, but I wanted that free weapon damage core, or the way I look at it is a free armor core. And the reason why is because I want to drop my shield as much as possible and play into my bonus armor. So I have 4 blue cores, and that's going to help the Memento. The Memento is really one of the best things you can put on your SMG build. It's definitely not required, but SMG builds with bonus armor just perform a lot faster. That's because you can use your bonus armor as a shield, a soft shield, and drop your hard shield so that you can move from engagement to engagement faster and allowing yourself to take damage, because it's going to expire anyways in 10 seconds. So you might as well use it. So we got 3 cores here. I have a crit damage mod and then kill confirmed. So we are definitely playing into the short-term buffs here. Okay, so we're going to get 5% weapon damage per kill per red core. We got 10% bonus armor per kill per blue core and 5% skill efficiency. Not really using the skill efficiency too much, but it's there. We're gonna have 30% skill efficiency at full stacks. Full stacks will have 3% armor regen and 30% weapon damage the enemies cannot take away from you. But the bonus armor, so well, let's look at those short-term buffs. So we're gonna get 15% weapon damage for 10 seconds, and that's stackable every time we get a kill and grab the trophy. And we're gonna get 40% bonus armor, and that's why I wanted the Picaros, because I wanted that extra armor core so I can have extra bonus armor and still have my weapon damage red core as well. I'm running the shield, the Crusader, really handy for SMG builds, and it's really nice when you're running armor cores because the shield gets stronger. As you can see, we have a tier 4 shield, and then I run the decoy. Sometimes I run the fixer as well, whatever you like. And then Gunner. So Gunner is our only source of armor on kill, sort of. So that's 10% armor on kill. But remember, the bonus armor is an armor on kill as well. It's just temporary armor on kill. We're getting 40% of that. That's also stackable and can push beyond your 100% level. You don't get the armor on kill when you're at 100% armor, but you do still get bonus armor even when you're at 100% armor. And you can stack this so you can get 40, 80, 120, and so on and so forth. Altogether, you got 50% armor on kill. I've learned playing this game for a while that the Memento can provide all the heals that you need if you're running enough armor because of its armor regen. And you don't need crazy high armor regen. You just need really good bonus armor so that your armor regen can heal your wide armor while your bonus armor is protecting it. So 3% armor regen is very good on 1.5 million armor. It's enough. It's enough to not have to run the fixer. It's enough to not actually have or need armor on kill for your wide armor, because you're just going to get another kill to protect your wide armor anyways, even if it's diminished some. So you just need some sort of healing. So let's take a look at the stats. So we're going to have 58% crit chance, which is almost max, 117% crit damage, 70% headshot damage. And with this build, our time to kill is beautiful. It's very, very fun to use, very fast play. And so you're definitely going to want to get out of cover as much as possible and push up on the enemies and keep refreshing Unwavering. So I'm going to switch to my SMG. We'll kill somebody. And you can see every kill will refresh it. Crazy fast RPM. But if you let it time out, which we'll do here in a second, and then get a kill, notice it doesn't refresh. So you got to put it away, and that's where your secondary weapon becomes important. And then you see your little meter there where it's recharging, and now you can go back to it and it's active again. and then you can refresh it. And that's why you need a really good secondary weapon, and that's why the chest piece really makes sense on this build. So, you know, we did try Versatile as well. Versatile is a really good backpack talent for this type of gameplay, and that's because you get 35% amplified damage between your shotguns and SMGs for 10 seconds when you switch to them. So you can't refresh it, but we're switching enough that we'd be really taking advantage of that 35% amp damage. But it just became really sort of a pain in the butt to run this build without bonus armor of some sort, because then you'd have to end up compensating with some armor on kill, but then it's just sort of not as fun. Definitely possible to use, but I liked having some sort of really good protection since I got a really good time to kill with this build. Okay, here's the second version of the build, and it's very, very close. The main difference is the specialization. Okay, so I decided to go with Firewall, and the reason why is because Firewall gives me the striker shield, which in turn is really more damage. And as you can see, the way I have it configured, I have 13% more damage per enemy. So because I had a better shield, I decided to take one tier off. So this is a tier 4 shield where we were at a tier 5 with the last build. The whole point of this one is just even more damage, and there's more to it than meets the eye. And that's because of the memento, right? So we're gonna have 30% weapon damage, of course, at full stacks. But when we pick up a trophy, we're now gonna get 20% more weapon damage per fresh trophy. On the last build, we were getting 15%. So that's a net positive of 20% more weapon damage when you have at least one trophy active. And then the additional damage from the shield. So standing in front of a single target with one active trophy, you're at 33% more damage against that target. The downside is you no longer have that 10% armor on kill. So with this one, you can decide to run the fixer instead of the decoy if you want a little bit faster heals. But otherwise, the 3% armor regen did a pretty good job for me underneath all of this. A shift in damage and defense here. So this is the strongest than the other one, but all the other stats are the same. So we got the same crit chance, the same crit damage. We're still running the striker chest and everything else. So if you're wondering which version I liked better, I would probably say, so in the end, which build is better? Well, you know, that's really hard to say. I guess if I was forced to choose one, I'd probably go with the gunner one. And that's because that additional bonus armor that you're gonna get is really gonna come in more handy than the additional damage on this one. And with this one's going to perform better against groups, and that's because your shield is going to scale with groups, giving you faster time to kill against them. So both have their advantages, but because both of them have an amazing time to kill, I think the bonus armor is probably more useful on the regular. This is what a 100% weapon handling build looks like. It's crazy.
Follow me.